The Old Seaside Inn looked almost forgotten by time. Its white paint was peeling, the porch leaned toward the ocean, and every storm seemed to take another piece of it away. But when Emily Carter arrived there one cold October morning, she wasn't looking for luxury. She was looking for somewhere to start over. What she didn't know was that the quiet man fixing a broken window near the entrance wasn't the handyman. And when she made that mistake, he chose not to correct her. Before we continue, subscribe to Kindness Library, like this video, and tell us in the comments about a time when someone's kindness changed your day. Sometimes the smallest act can become the beginning of something unforgettable. Emily had driven from Boston to the small coastal town in Maine with almost everything she owned packed inside her aging car. At 32, she had recently lost her job and was struggling to figure out what came next. She had booked a cheap room at the Seabreeze Inn for 2 weeks. As Emily carried her suitcase toward the entrance, one wheel broke off. "Perfect," she whispered. A man standing on a ladder nearby heard her. He climbed down, wiped his hands on his faded work pants, and walked over. "Need some help?" Emily looked at his old jacket, dusty boots, and toolbox. "You must be the handyman." The man smiled slightly. "I can help with the suitcase." His name was Daniel. Within minutes, he had repaired the broken wheel well enough for Emily to roll the suitcase inside. "Thank you," she said. "I really needed one thing to go right today." Daniel noticed the sadness behind her smile but didn't ask questions. The next morning, Emily saw him repairing a loose porch board. "Do they ever give you a day off around here?" she joked. "Not often," Daniel replied with a grin. Emily began seeing him everywhere. He repaired a leaking faucet, carried groceries for an elderly guest, and helped a family whose car battery died. Whenever someone needed something, Daniel seemed to appear. But Emily noticed something unusual. He never acted annoyed. One rainy afternoon, she found him trying to repair an old wooden bench overlooking the ocean. She brought him a cup of coffee. Figured the handyman deserves a break. Daniel accepted it. "Thank you." They sat together, watching waves crash against the rocks. Emily finally told him why she was there. She had spent years working for a company that suddenly closed her department. Her savings were disappearing quickly, and she felt embarrassed that her life had fallen apart. Daniel listened quietly. "Losing a job doesn't mean you lost your value," he said. Emily looked at him. "You sound too wise to be fixing broken sinks." Daniel laughed. "Broken things teach you something. Most of them don't need to be thrown away. They just need patience." Those words stayed with her. Over the following days, Emily started helping around the inn. She arranged flowers in the lobby, helped an elderly couple carry breakfast to their room, and even created a simple website for the inn after noticing its old one barely worked. Daniel watched without saying much. "You're good at making people feel welcome," he told her. "So are you." 2 weeks passed quickly. On Emily's final morning, she went downstairs to check out. A woman behind the desk handed her an envelope. "This is from Mr. Bennett." "Who?" Before the woman could answer, Daniel walked into the lobby. But this time, he wasn't wearing his old work clothes. He wore a clean navy suit. Emily stared at him. "Daniel?" The receptionist smiled. "Emily, this is Daniel Bennett. He owns the Seabreeze Inn." Emily's mouth fell open. "You own this place?" Daniel nodded. "But I thought you were the handyman." "You did. Why didn't you correct me?" Daniel smiled. "Because you treated me kindly when you thought I had nothing to offer you." Emily looked down at the envelope. Inside was a job offer. Daniel wanted her to become the inn's new guest experience and marketing manager. "I've watched how you treat people," he explained. "Skills can be taught. Kindness is harder to teach." Emily's eyes filled with tears. "But you barely know me." I know enough. You were struggling yourself, yet you still helped other people. Emily accepted the job. Over the next year, the Old Seaside Inn came alive again. Emily redesigned its website, organized community dinners, and helped transform the aging property into a warm gathering place for locals and travelers. Daniel still repaired things himself sometimes. And Emily still teased him about being the most overqualified handyman in Maine. But she never forgot what he taught her. Sometimes we judge people by their clothes, their jobs, or what we believe they can give us. Yet true kindness asks for none of those things. Treat the janitor with the same respect as the owner. Help someone even when there is nothing to gain. Offer a cup of coffee, a patient ear, or a few encouraging words. Because you never truly know someone's story. And sometimes the kindness you give when nobody important seems to be watching becomes the very thing that changes your life.